have you had any more reflection on things that you either liked or didn't like from that game?
Yeah, I mean, we didn't like coming home early. That was the obvious one. You know, the goal, fluke goal, but there were some things defensively before that. I think they had, some moments in the second half where they were a little bit better. But look, in that first half, Jeremiah, I mean, from minutes 10 through 45, I thought we played extremely well. My reflection is, could we have tried to get, maybe one more training game in? I mean, the preseason was so short with only 4 weeks, but maybe that would have kicked a little bit of rust off the group. But there were some really good moments, even in the build-out with the new 3-2. That progression from here to here was good. So lots of positives, but the one glaring negative out, kind of right now anyway, kind of tips the scale a little bit negative because we're home.
Can you elaborate a little bit on the positives? Obviously, it didn't end up in your team's favor, but just to kind of think of the good that came out of this trip to Morocco and the game.
I'll tell you, starting at the back, we've worked specifically on things from goal kicks, how we set up our initial setup. When do we kick it long? When do we try and play out of the back? Talked about building with 3 instead of our normal 4 in years past. Getting guys in the pockets in between lines. Keeping some structure within the group and then still allowing them their creative freedoms within their kind of areas of the field. I thought there was a lot of good stuff. We just didn't have that final little movement, that final pass, the final little piece of quality to score in that first half. But, there's a lot of positives.
Are there any players in specific that stood out to you during that game?
I think all of them. This preseason was easy. I think I might have said it before we even left for Marbella, for Spain. We've been laser focused on doing well in this competition since last October. Maybe even since, the middle part of last season we were looking ahead. But the preseason was very good. They've been very sharp in trying to get the nuances of some of the new ideas into their game. So in that sense, it was good. I would compliment the entire group, top to bottom.
Hindsight 2020, looking back at the game, did you feel at all like maybe in the second half the game plan was a little too conservative, or you wouldn't say that at all?
Well, if you're asking about the subs and specifically, why do we take Christian off or Danny or JP and some of that stuff, yeah, we always reflect. You can always second guess. There's been, times when I've left players on. Jordan Morris a couple years back against Dallas, everybody said take him off, but then he scores. I mean, that's always the coach's, frustration, and certainly I did a lot of reflection on it. Could we have changed a couple guys? Yeah. I thought we were going to get it into overtime. I thought we had fresh legs in the middle of the field with JP and Danny in that vital part of the field. There were fresh legs, but the game just didn't turn in our favor. You have to credit Al Ali. They certainly are a good team, but for us, we always try and learn from those moments and grow as a coaching staff, and you always ask yourself, what could you have done better?
Now that you're back here, how's the health of the team, specifically with JP and Obed?
JP's fine. Obed's still dinged up, but he'll be back. He's a young kid. His recovery will be fast.
On Obed, what's the injury that Obed is dealing with?
Quad injury.
And is Dylan Tevez looks like he's back in?
Dylan Tevez is back in, yeah.
How do you feel like maybe the little adjustments on holding, or it seemed like that, holding Nuhu back a little bit and maybe allowing your midfielders to get on that side and push Jordan a little bit higher? How do you feel like that worked?
Well, Jordan's supposed to be a little bit wider. He's supposed to be the widest guy in the field. And that's where, you can take a look at that and say, as the game progressed, Jordan got a little heavy legs. Should we brought Chu on? A little more dynamic 1v1 dribbler. Jordan's all power and speed. So, yeah, there's things there. That's that new structure. And Leo will get his chances. He'll get his chances, and we'll see if that works. But I like it.
How do you think Josh Atencio played in the game?
Great. I mean, that was a question mark coming in, and he did very well. Very well.
Is it kind of the start for him to take that next step to get more time and kind of lock down a spot, perhaps?
Well, locking down a spot isn't going to be easy because you got Obed, you got Josh, you got Danny. I always talk about Sota's coming up very fast, and then you got Albert and JP. So, it's tough in that part of the field. We got a lot of talented soccer players.
What do you want to see from Josh over the first part of the season?
Just more growth. I think in that area of the field. And look, he's not a true number 6. I mean, he's more of an 8. He likes to go forward. He likes to open his legs up. So it's a little, harsh to criticize him. But he has the range. And so him playing disciplined when he's playing next to a guy like Albert. Now, if JP and Josh are together, maybe he can open his legs up and do some of those things. But it's just game awareness, some of those things.
Defensively, the team seemed solid. It seemed like the performance was pretty good there. What are your impressions of how they played defensively, particularly the back line, not in general?
Well, yeah, they were a good defensive team, but they've known more for their attacking. I thought we were able to put them back on their heels a couple of moments. I thought our defending was really good. I watched the first half on the panoramic view. The coach was very, he was trying to get his guys to get the ball up the field, but Raul, Nico, I think our compactness higher up the field was very good. But, they're to your point, they're a good all-around team, but I always viewed them as more of an attacking team. Their attacking movements are very good.
No, I was thinking more of your defensive line. I'm sorry for my raspy voice.
No. I thought we defended well.
To clarify on Christian, I think you alluded to an injury that he may have been carrying in that game, and that's part of why he came out. Can you just clarify that?
He's coming up next. I'll take that. He had some issues with his hip. He has had a cortisone injection when he returned home. But, those were just decisions that I made. I thought he wasn't able to, do some of the training in Marbella. We had to hold him out of a couple training sessions because of that injury. And so that was one of the guys I thought, look, he puts in a ton of work on that side of the field. And, that was my decision. I thought he was at the end.
One of the other tactical shifts you've talked about this offseason is how you use Albert. And I'm just curious how you ideally envision him being used and how effective you thought he was.
Yeah, that one is a work in progress because I would like to push him higher up the field. We haven't gotten that yet. But sometimes we'll build with 3-2 or sometimes we'll build 3-1. And so that'll take some work. It depends on the game. If we're on top of teams, he can scoot up a little bit. But if we're not, we got to defend, and then he's got to play back there.
Just so I understand, I'm just making sure I understand the on paper plan. So if Nuhu is hanging back a little farther, is the idea that he'll be the connecting piece to Jordan on the left side?
Yeah.
Okay.
But then there's Nico in the pocket, Albert as a false fullback. There's different variations of that.
Right.
Mentality of the team been since coming back from Morocco?
Well, today's the first day. Today we watched a little film. We did some messaging. The on-field performance today, their training today was very good.
So obviously you guys, had a great effort in the game and a great preseason so far in Morocco. What's the message to the group to assure that they can build off of that come regular season?
Well, the message is our home opener is not too far away. So that's life, that's reality. We have to push past the Club World Cup. It was a great experience. Proud of the fact that we're the first MLS team to accomplish that and actually get a chance to play in that tournament. But now the league season is coming and we need to be prepared for that.
Christian Robin's versatility has always been something that allows you to put him in several positions. Has there been a thought about going back to playing him centrally right next to either Jao or anything like that? Or you like him out wide?
I like him out wide. I like him better out wide.
With fans, it happens in every team in every sport. But after one game they make judgments about an entire season. What would your message be to fans who are already making conclusions about how 2023 will go?
Look, fans, if they pay the ticket price and they come into the stadium, they have a right to voice their opinion. The problem is the platform, Twitter, it's easy, some of the social media sites, it's easy to voice your opinion. It's something that I don't mind. I mean, that's their right. But I just, I'm very confident that this is a very talented team, and we will get better as the season progresses.
Brian, one last one. Your thoughts on the rumors on the playoff change and possibly going to like a 3-game series?
Yeah.
Like, what are your thoughts on that?
Well, I prefer personally the one and done, like knockout games. That's my personal feeling, but that's way above my pay grade.